All right, what up, what up, what up? We're here with RKT Appraisals in the building.
All right.
What's going on? What's going on? So today we're talking about how to build business credit. Man, so how do you do it? Let's go. Let's just go in. Go in.
CD, go ahead.
Yeah, man. I mean, the first message I tell anybody, if you got a business and you got an EIN number and it's official, you should start building business credit immediately. It's a couple ways where you can start building business credit. Couple first steps. You want to open a business checking account.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you have $10 in there, automatically when these credit card companies and you try to get these business loans, they're going to see if you actually have a commercial business checking account. The reason being they want to see if you're valid in some way or form or fashion. Like I said, even if you have $20 in there, it's better to have one than to not have one, because that at least solidifies that, hey, this person has some type of business because they have some type of documentation on paper that they're doing business.
Right.
So that's the very first step. The second step is that you want to start applying for commercial vendor accounts, meaning like Home Depot, Lowe's. Those are great companies to start off with getting business credit. You go in there and and it's two ways to take a step back. There's two ways of getting a business credit. You can use your personal credit to get approved for a business credit card. And then from there, it'll only report on your business credit. But initially, you can use your personal credit to get up in conjunction, meaning together, to get approved for the business credit. And then from there, it'll report to the credit bureau as the business credit bureau as normal. You know what I mean? But like I said, like Home Depot, Lowe's, they're the best ones to do this type of stuff because they'll give you a business credit card. They're reputable, and they report to the three credit bureaus for business, which is Experian, Equifax, and it's called Duns and Bradbury. You know what I mean? So they report to those three credit bureaus. And then once you get that business credit, again, that's perfect for you because now when you apply for business loans, they see that you have a business credit card. They see that you have a business checking account. So that means you're running a real business. So those are the first steps on how you want to start to build business credit from the get-go, overall.
That's dope. So how does that help the business as far as like if they're doing like you have certain expenses, you want to buy certain things, should you use that? Should you is it a business credit card specifically, or is this your business have like good credit? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the difference necessarily?
So all the above you just said. So if you open up a commercial business credit card with a vendor like a Home Depot, it's specifically for that particular store. You know what I mean? But it builds your credit just like a regular credit card. It is a credit card. You just can only use it at like a Home Depot. What that will do for you is that will open up the door for you to get a normal business credit card, like a normal, business Discover business card, Visa business card. And then that will unlock regular stuff that you could buy, purchase all the time, anywhere, just like a normal credit card.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that'll do all the above of what you're saying. And the good thing is business credit is not exactly like personal credit, meaning if you have a $5,000 limit on business credit, it's not like personal credit where if you use a high utilization, you're like, oh, you're messing up, you're using too much money. No, their primary thing is paying off that debt on time and not making late payments. That's the main thing with business credit, paying it on time. And that's the main thing, just paying it on time. That's the main thing at the end of the day. And you'll see your business credit jump up. And it's huge because if you have business credit, it unlocks way more type of money than personal credit because you're running a business. So therefore, if you're trusted with $5,000, $10,000 in business credit to start off with, or even $1,000, within a year or two, you will start to be in situations where they might trust you with $100,000, $50,000. You get there way faster with business credit versus personal credit. And honestly, a lot of mistakes a lot of people that own businesses or entrepreneurs make, they use their personal credit to finance their business when you shouldn't be doing that. You should use your business credit to finance your business. And to your point, Mr. Locario, if you have a business credit card, you can write off a lot of expenses. You get more points doing business stuff on your credit card. It's just all the way around way better for you.
Exactly. Yeah, that stuff about points. That the stuff about points is is important because a lot of there's a lot of value in that. There's a lot of perks as far as like, say you run a business where you travel a lot, and you use the same airline a lot, and you get those points. You get frequent flyer miles. When you pay for tickets, you get cash back on your credit card transactions and things like that. Like, and then another thing too is that as your business grows, as the revenue of your business grows, you want to understand cash flow. You understand? And that's what credit kind of helps with, because credit is basically a buffer between the amount of money your business makes and the amount of profit that you actually take home at the end of the day. You understand? And so what does that look like? So for example, it's like if your business makes, let's say, $30,000 a month, right? But that's revenue, right? Revenue, because we also every month we got to pay our employees. Every month, like if you got a web-based business, you got to pay your websites. You have to pay whatever services that run your transactions or your online store, e-commerce. If you ship products, you got to pay for fulfillment, packaging. All these things make a difference. You got to pay for advertising. If you run ads on Instagram, you run ads on Facebook, you got to pay for marketing with that. So you want to use your business credit card for all those things to show that, because basically what you're doing is you're showing the credit bureaus, my business makes $30,000, but this is how I spend the money to make the $30,000 that my business is making a month. It's not just coming out the air. Like I have to spend this money on fulfillment, packaging, shipping. I have to pay employees. I got to pay websites. I got to pay for, different, I got to pay employees. I got to, everything has to be paid for. You know what I'm saying? Like even something like PayPal. Like if you get all of your transactions, if you sell in digital products, you get all of your transactions through PayPal. PayPal take their money every month too. You understand? You have to pay. And then again, like I said, with the marketing is super important. And marketing is one piece that a lot of people with businesses forget. It's like, truthfully, you should be spending a good 15 to 30% on marketing.
Right. That's true.
15 to 30% of revenue on marketing. So if you making $30,000 a month, then you should be spending anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 on marketing. You know what I'm saying? Like honestly, if you really want to be out there competing and making decent money. So here's the thing. Revenue means that's how much money you make a month. But after expenses, you're probably only looking at, if you're lucky, you're probably only looking at anywhere from $10,000 to $5,000 of profit a month. Right. And so that's why you have to understand cash flow. So your cash flow, let's just say is 20,000. You understand? Because if you taking home 10 in profit and your business is making 30, your cash flow is around $20,000. Now, what happens is when you use your credit cards, remember, if you make the purchases, if you pay your employees and you pay for their websites and all these different things, remember, you spend a certain amount of money, you only have to pay back in most cases, and nobody suggests this, but you only really have to pay back the minimum balance on your credit card. Right. So that means you have a cash flow of $20,000, but you only really looking to pay the minimum balance of maybe $2,000-$3,000. Right. You understand? So you have a lot of wiggle room. So you have cash flow of $20,000, but you only got to pay back maybe $3,000 to $5,000 based on the credit, the minimum balance credit limit. Right. And as you continue to keep making money, and let's just say you increase your marketing a little bit, now your revenue is $35,000, $40,000. Right. So now you have a positive cash flow of maybe a positive cash flow of $25,000, $30,000, and then you still have a profit of like $10,000 to $15,000, and so on and so forth. And then as you spend more money to increase your revenue, your credit limit gets bigger and bigger. So now instead of a $10,000 credit limit on that card, now you have a $15,000, $20,000 credit limit, and so on. And so your business begins to grow, your cash flow begins to grow, your profits begin to grow, and the buffer of credit line that you have also begins to grow. So now, as you continue to build your business, now you're not just spending money on marketing, you're not just spending money on employees and packaging and shit. Now you're looking into possibly buying assets.
Right.
And because now your credit limit went from 10 to 15 to $20,000. And remember, you own, your minimum balance is $3,000 to $5,000.
Right.
Meanwhile, your revenue is growing, your credit limit is growing, your business is growing, your cash flow is growing, and your profits are growing. So now you're using it's leverage. It's leverage. So what's leverage? Leverage means that I only have to move the top of this to move the whole thing.
Right.
Understand? People who don't know how to run business, they got to grab the entire thing to try to move it. But when you have leverage, you only need this much to move that much.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? That's what leverage is. So that means you have, and that's why you use credit cards, because it's a buffer to allow you to continue increasing your revenue. And you pay, but and don't ever just pay the minimum. Pay back a little bit more than the minimum. You understand what I'm saying? But the bottom line is, if you don't have to pay it all back, then that means you got wiggle room. As long as your revenue continues to grow.
Right.
Now, if you see that your revenue starts to, because me and Lucario actually went through this the other day.
I know, it's terrible.
When you start to see your revenue dwindling, you're like, hold up, okay, let's rewind. Let's reduce the spending, and then reassess, and then figure out how to get our revenue back up so we can keep the process going. So see, look, this process that I'm explaining to you is not for everybody, because not everybody knows how to really handle money. That's why everybody can't be an entrepreneur.
Right.
A lot of motherfuckers would be like, yo, my business is making $30,000 a month. Nigga, I'm buying $30,000 worth of Jordans, nigga. Fuck that.
Exactly right.
Like, dumb nigga, no, that's not how it works. This is making $30,000 a month. Don't even buy no fucking Jordans, because $25,000 of that got to go to your employees, got to go through your expenses, utilities, all that type of shit. You understand? You're really only taking home 5 G's, bro, and then you still got to pay personal bills and take care of your nagging ass wife. You understand what I'm saying? Your kids, your hungry ass kids who need shit. So understand how this works. So that's why. So you got. So just one more time. You got your revenue, which is all the money your business makes. Then you have expenses. But what do? You use your credit to pay for those expenses, and because credit is a buffer, you only have to pay back a certain amount per month. So you get to pay for all your expenses, but to actually pay back, you don't have to pay back that much. So you can take home more profit and still keep up with your expenses. Why? Because you have a buffer that protects you. But it only makes sense if your revenue stays the same or continues to grow. Right. So that's why you got to be strategic on how you use the credit that you're building. So you got to be strategic to use it to get better employees, to do more and better marketing. You understand? To maybe you can use it to buy better materials for your products to make them better. You understand? Maybe you want to expand to increasing your product line. So maybe you have one product A, product B, but now because of that cash flow that I was explaining, now you have enough of a credit line to invest into a third product. You understand? So now your marketing is right. Your product A and product B is successful. So now it's time for you to expand to product C. So now that's what increases your revenue. And as your revenue increases, that's what increases your ability to take home a little bit more profit and use your credit in that strategic type of way.
That's some real shit, man. And Kelly, what's your thoughts on all that stuff so far?
I mean, everybody's definitely saying the right things as far as the business credit is concerned. I mean, I think the first thing for me to tell individuals is that are you ready to even get business credit? Because like what Miles was just saying, as far as the spending, as far as your revenue, keeping up with it. If you're not ready for the business credit, that's why you got to call RKT appraisal, so we can let you know,
Exactly.
go over your finances and let you know if you are ready to take that step to get the business credit. Also, when it comes to credit, what I realized is that it gives you more time, right?
The
Mhm.
buffer.
The buffer, right? It gives you more time overall to do what you have to do with your business, still grow your business, and give yourself good business credit in general, right? Also, I think somebody had a question. I don't know if Rashid, you could take that. It says, what are Kenwood Drive? What are all your thoughts on manufacturer spending?
Yeah.
So what Kenwood Drive?
What the hell is that? First of all,
First off, Kenwood Drive though, like I'm gonna say, did you Google that question? Because that's a well advanced credit question that only a certain stratosphere knows though. Like, so like,
that is. I'll be honest.
So what manufacturer spending is, to Kenwood's point, it's pretty much just spending money to essentially just build your credit. So doing random stuff like gift cards. To your point, Miles, earlier on, you know what I mean, expenses and stuff like that. You're solely using your credit to build your credit. Mm-hmm. So yes, Kenwood Drive, that is a good way to build your credit. In fact, that's the best way. The reality of the situation is, it's only for people that's advanced in building credit. You know what I mean? So it's just like going to school. That's like the 12th grade. You know what I mean? But if you're just starting in credit, you might be in kindergarten.
Right.
To kind of compare something. But no, that is the ultimate way to build credit, because based off of that way of building credit, you literally use your credit card for little stuff. That's exactly what I do for my credit. I don't use my credit card for stuff for stuff that I want. I just use it to build my credit. So for example, I buy, company stuff with materials. You know what I mean? I buy certain stuff just to build my credit. I buy gas just to build my credit. It's buying little frivolous stuff that you need and that helps you day to day, but you're just doing it just to actually build your credit.
Right.
So the catch with that, if you're doing something like that, you have to actually pay attention to what you're spending, how you're spending, and when you got to pay it back and stuff like that. But no, that is the most advanced way and the best way to build your credit. It's actually the number one way. But like I said, it's baby steps. You got to get to that level first before you can take on that level.
Oh, okay. Is it let me ask you, does it have anything? Because I remember when I applied for a DUNS number for another business venture that I was working on, and as soon as I applied, they sent me a Uline catalog. And for those of you that don't know what that is, it's a Uline is like they sell a lot of paper material, they sell a lot of office supplies, they sell packaging, fulfillment, bubble wrap, all that type of shit, all that type of shit that like 3M makes. You know what I'm saying? So you could buy, and the reason why they did that is because once I applied for the DUNS number, it's like that's what you use to buy, like Rashidi said, that the day-to-day expenses that keep your business going. So like if you have a product that needs to be shipped, then you're gonna buy, maybe 100 or 1,000 count of boxes that you packaged your product with to send out to people who order your package. So is that the type of stuff you're talking about, Rashidi?
That ties in it too. Okay. It's a little separate, but that point you just brought up is massive though, because to your point, that's what I have right now in my business now. With American Express, literally just before the podcast, I was signed up with American Express. They sent me something where they have a business webinar where they go over what's going on in the economy and how you can build your business credit. To your point, Miles, like literally do what you just said. Where they send you the pamphlets of things you can order from various places and get discounts for bulks and everything like that, and upline credit. In fact, to even go even further with your point, that particular American Express, because I did all of that, they have, they want me to apply for American Express card that where if you're approved, there is no limit to what you can buy. You know what I mean? Exactly. And so the catch is though, because there's always a catch. The catch is if you get approved for the card, what happens is that if you buy something for $50,000, they'll let you rock. But they tell you as soon as you buy it within a week or two, you have to pay this money off within a certain window.
Right.
And trust me with more money.
Right.
The point is, it's limitless. It's almost like a fake black card for your business. You know what I mean?
So no, I just brought up the thing on Google. It said manufactured spending is the act of artificially spending money solely for the purpose of generating reward points or to accelerate meeting your minimum spending requirements. So that's another thing with credit cards as well. of course you can max a credit card out, but a lot of people don't realize that there is also a minimum. Like if you don't use your credit cards, it's hard for you to build credit.
Right.
You understand? And if you always have a zero balance, they might look at you and say, "Oh, you're afraid to leave some money on there, so that means you're probably not as financially stable as you think." And that's why I said, like, it's not for everybody. It's a delicate art to it. It's sort of a balancing act. Like I said, you got to look at your company's entire revenue. Then you got to understand expenses. Then you got to understand cash flow. Then you got to understand profit. You understand? Right. What happens to a lot of people in business is that they have no balance when it comes to that type of shit.
Right.
They look at all the money that they're making as profit, and they don't even realize, no, that money has to go back in. And some of that money is cash flow to pay for your expenses as a business. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So here's what so in this definition is the act of artificially spending money solely for the purpose of generating rewards or to accelerate meeting your minimum spending requirements. So there are certain requirements for these cards that you might get where it's like, well, you got to spend at least $500 for this card to be valid type shit. You understand? So, like even sometimes even for those who have bank accounts, they'll tell you that if you do less than 3 transactions a month, then they're gonna charge you, some type of fee for this account. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's how financial entities work. It's like if you're not using it, then why do we have it in existence? Because having something in existence like a credit card is something that they have to monitor. So if I'm going to take the time to monitor it, then you need to use it. You understand? Don't just apply for a card with me just because you want to flash a MasterCard to bitches. No.
Right.
Apply for the card and use it. Like run it as a business. Like, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you actually, because remember, credit card companies, their number one, the way that they make money is through transactions.
Right.
So a credit card company, they probably make like maybe 0.5 cents, like 5 cents on every transaction, 3 cents on every transaction. But you got to consider, with millions and millions of transactions around the world on a given day,
right? It's a lot.
Credit card companies are making billions of dollars, you know what I'm saying, in a year or in a few months.
Right.
So that's what it's about. That's why they give you those points. That's what basically it's like they're rewarding you for spending money. That's why they call it rewards. You get cash back. You get points for frequent flyer miles. You get points to go out to dinner. You got a dinner. You get points for dinner. So next time you go to a restaurant, you can actually apply, and they take a discount off your meal or whatever it is. But the point is that if you're not making transactions, the credit card companies are not making money. So that's why they incentivize you to use these things. So that's why you might use something like manufactured spending to help you with that situation. You understand? So you'll find a reason to spend some type of money just to keep all of your credit cards active and in good standing.
Right. And to your point, Miles, I didn't bring that up. You are right with the manufacturer spending. That's also the way to get as many rewards points as possible, which is huge on credit cards, on the business side and the personal side. On the personal side, right now, one of my Discover cards, I get 5% cash back on money I'm spending. On the business side, when you use rewards points, for example, my Home Depot card that I do have, I get 4 times the rewards. And discounted pricing, about 20% off pricing when ordering a whole bunch of sheetrock or whatever you want to buy in Home Depot. So on a personal and business side, the reward points, you can make a lot of money back. You know what I mean? If you're spending $3,000-$4,000, you're getting back like $500-$700 money back in your pocket. You know what I mean? So that's why the rewards point part of it is huge. You can make a lot of money to it.
Facts. Adam A said, "I fucking hate work." I don't think this is a question because I read through it and it's not really a question.
He's making a statement.
I guess
here's what I would say to that though, right? Adam A, listen, what's gonna happen? And mark my words when I say this, right? And I want to say within the next 5 years tops, anybody who has a 9-to-5 is going to be in trouble. Anybody who has a 9-to-5 is going to be in trouble. The only ones who are going to be making money is self-employed / business owners. So the fact that you hate your job, whatever it is that you want to do, as far as you being self-employed, I encourage you to do it. There are some steps that you can take to get there. Me, Rashidi, can help you. Like I said, call our KT Appraisals, and we'll help you with that process. However, but just know that that's going to be the thing in the future, simply because, and I don't know if people are paying attention, but most jobs right now, they're like some jobs are hiring, but they're not hiring like how they used to.
Right.
Because the CEOs, the employers, they're not making the type of revenue as before. So they're not going to remember, what's the purpose of a business is to make profits. If that company, if that business is not making money, how are they going to hire you?
Right.
And as time goes on, it's going to get progressively worse. So the only ones who will be making money, like I said, is business owners / people who are self-employed. So go ahead and start that nightclub promoter / networking business. Do your thing.
And when Kareem says making money, is that the 9 to 5s you're limited, and it's only getting worse on how much more limited you can be.
Right.
And to Kareem's point, and one thing I want to add to that is that if you leave a 9 to 5 and become an entrepreneur, you can make $5,000 a year. Those are entrepreneurs that have no work ethic and just want to try something willy-nilly. So you definitely want to be clear. If you're trying to be an entrepreneur, you have to take it serious. Like a 9 to 5, you have to set a schedule. You actually have to set real goals, and you actually have to have discipline. So if you lack discipline, don't do it to yourself. That's what I will tell people. It's a serious thing. Because a lot of times people jump in entrepreneurship and you can make $2, or you can make $1 million. It's really up to you. The only difference is a 9 to 5. You trade in time for money, which we spoke about that on another podcast, where you go in from a set time to a set time, you get the set amount of dollars. As an entrepreneur, you're constantly working all the time and doing different things, and you set your own time and you make your money on your own time. But that doesn't mean that you don't have to put in work. That just means that you have to put in the work on a time that you have to put in the work for.
Right. And I also like what Miles is saying about how a lot of people that when they get into business or whatever, and they're entrepreneur, if you're making this amount of money a month, you're not really making that amount of money a month. That's the business is making it. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of times I feel like people, they get themselves confused with the business. You see what I'm saying? So they think that, oh, I have this amount of money, but then they also forgot how much money they had to spend in order to make that amount of money. So you still have to balance it out and see, okay, how much am I really making in profit? So I think a lot of times people forget those sort of aspects of it, and then that confuses people. And then by that confusion, it can cause you to actually lose more money than you would have thought, because now you end up spending more money than you think you even have.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the trick of it. Because truthfully, $30,000 a month sounds like a lot until you realize how much shit you gotta pay for it, and you're like, damn, I don't really have that money. It's like it looks good on paper, but that ain't really what it is. Unless you're saying, hey, after all expenses and all of that other shit, I'm making $30,000, right? Then that's one thing.
Right.
I'm personally making this amount of money after all the shit, that's one thing. But if it's like the business is making this, then it's like you got to still deduct all the shit. You feel what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Exactly. Yep.
Real shit. So anything else y'all want to say before we wrap this up? Kareem and Rashidi, anything?
Yeah, last thing I would say is just to kind of expand on what you were saying. I think that anyone who is going to start their own business, even before starting their own business, whoever you work for right now, try to see like things from a manager standpoint, or from a supervisor standpoint, because that's going to help you understand numbers. It's going to help you understand profits, going to help you understand revenue, what's coming in, what's going out, to help you when you're on your path to starting entrepreneurship, to starting your own self-made business. You could learn more about that. Call our KT Appraisals. We can help you with all of those things.
That's what's up.
And the last thing I'll wrap up with Kareem's point. Kareem's being modest. Let's be honest. You probably don't have enough time to figure that out. Just call our KT.
Thanks.
Yeah, just call us.
What's that? 973-420-5028.
Exactly.
Or go to rktappraisals.com.
Facts. All right, people. So that's pretty much it. We will see you guys next week. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. Be gone. We